check this. We're gonna start the stream. Here we go. Starting. And live. What's up, everybody? Pooch coming at you, Repcord, and I got a new setup today, so let's see. Hey guys, Dan, Kat, welcome. Hold on, I had a couple questions over on the Twitters real quick about when this actually was going down. It's going down now, Ben. I know, I'm late as always. Alright, hopefully, let me get the chat up here. How's the audio sound, guys? I'm doing a new mixer setup. Trying to kill multiple birds with one stone. Got a finally got a mixer. We're trying to get the audio a little bit better for the catch-up, and I wanted to have an opportunity to test that out too. Hey Scott, welcome. Very excited. Good, Dan. I am too. Thank you, Kat. Thanks for tweeting it out. You know, it's funny because I got this sent to me while I was at IRF. Surprised. I was actually surprised I got it as quick as I did. Thanks, Dan. Glad to hear the audio sounds good. That's good news. Let me pop this out here. Sorry, guys. As everything, it's like kind of a hodgepodge, kind of an impromptu thing, but this is like the first weekend I've been around in like a month. And anyway, as I was saying, I got this sent to me while I was at IRF. And I got the notice that, you know, UPS was coming and that somebody had to sign for it and nobody was here and I had no idea it was coming. So all's well that ends well. I just had to reroute it to the local UPS store and lo and behold. And I did pop it open just to kind of peek inside, but I really haven't taken the stuff out. So what I'm hoping to do today is just a quick unboxing. This is disclaimed as a kit. If you go to the Printrbot website, Brooke is very clear that this is for advanced rep wrappers only, and we'll see how true that is. I'm not actually going to start the assembly process, but it looks like they've done quite a bit of updates to the Get Started guide, so I was going to take a peek at that, see how that is, and then my plan is I'm hoping to get this thing up and running sooner than later because we'd really like to try to see if we can use it for some production for the printer box that A Pyro Design and I are working on. So we'll see how that goes. Hey, Ron's in the house. Man, we got a bunch of people not doing a lot with their Saturdays, huh? Like me. So should we dive in? Have we given people enough time to jump on? Because let's see. Country, John Krause. Let's see, really quick. Oh, Fernando. There's my last notification there. All right, I think it's time to dive in, and for those that want to catch it on the replay, they can. So, first of all, this is the handy dandy box that it showed up in. Let me stand up. Hopefully my levels don't get too loud as I get closer to the boom here. It's all a learning experience. Rather compact. For those of you who haven't seen, the original PrintrBelt was released, or wasn't really ever released. Brooke, being the consummate professional he wanted to wait until he felt like he got it right. So there was some stuff I think he wanted to tweak with the design, but he also realized that it was, I think he realized it was a little bit cost prohibitive, and I apologize, Brooke, if I'm speaking for you, but I think at the price point that they've set it at now, which as of this day is, looks like there's some configuration options. Oh, look, you can actually get an assembled unit now. So it's $5.99 for the kit or $6.49 for the assembled unit. So that's cool. That's a neat new option. I'm not sure when they started offering that. That's new since the last time I checked it. And they've been doing a lot of good updates to the documentation. There's a new good getting started guide. Anybody that was following the Twitter earlier saw Brooke chimed in with the updates to the getting started guide. So we'll take a peek at that in a minute after we start taking parts out and see what's what. So, sound like a plan? Yep, $5.99. It is quite a compact box. They are masters of engineering and packaging over at Printrbot HQ, which I've had the pleasure of visiting on numerous occasions. It's actually pretty close to where I am here in California. They're out of Lincoln, California, and I am in Auburn, California. First we have some very nice bubble wrap, always good to see. Get rid of that. Let's see here. Okay. Good. Bill of materials, QC sheet. So we've got a hardware bag, accessories, a wiring bag, a GT2 bag, a movement bag, an extruder bag, and metal parts. So we'll make sure, I guess, we have everything. That's probably a good place to start. And a receipt, don't need that. And a 1-year trial to Autodesk Fusion. I think they include that with everything that they ship these days, which is awesome. If you're looking to learn Fusion, which I know I need to do if I want to up my game from Tinkercad. This was actually shipped to me separately. I think, I'm not sure if it was intentional or not, but the original package was missing the belt. And I don't know if that it had to come from somewhere else or if it was just forgotten in the first round of stuff. So inside here we have our very, very thin looking stainless steel belt. And I imagine the interesting part is when this gets assembled, getting the seam where it meets back together taped in, and I'm sure they've got some tips on how to do that. So we'll set that there. And I lost my chat screen. Hold on, I want to pull that up so I can see what everybody's saying here as we go. How about we do that and that window? That's not the right one. I like to talk to myself while I'm working on stuff, or just in general. Let's see. Oh, Dan's saying they're actually reporting out of stock on both. That probably makes sense. My guess is they want to kind of see how this original run goes and maybe address any issues that come up. So onward with the unboxing. We've got two baggies, two samples of filament. These appear to be, I don't know, I'm gonna guess they're probably either a cleaner or just a clear PLA. Let's see if it says on here what we got here. Movement extruder bag, wiring bag, hardware bag, accessories. Let's see. Motors, cables. Doesn't say anything about filament on the bomb, unless I'm missing it here. So let's see, maybe we'll find out. Oh wait, look at that. 3 of them. Okay. Yeah. Hooked up with, wait, 4 of them. Wow, there's quite a bit of filament in here. So it's a compact box, but a lot of it is filament, apparently. All right, now we're getting into some goodies. All right, so we've got our, you know what I feel like I should do? I should go grab a pen. Should I probably have one in here? If I do, or a pencil or something, and maybe I can check off stuff as I go. So I can at least make sure I've got everything. So I was starting to say earlier that my plan, I have a pen right there. Bear with me one second, I'm going to grab a pen off the desk. So I was going to say earlier, my plan is to take everything out, make sure I've got it here, and then I'm actually heading up to Seattle and Portland end of next week to do kind of a whirlwind tour of the Pacific Northwest. I'm going to check out the Portland Brew Fest while I'm there. I've got some friends that are up there. I'm going to see if I can't visit the 3D Printing Nerd HQ. I'm also going to make a stop by Protopasta, which I'm really excited about because I haven't seen their facility yet. And Keith Tinkers has graciously agreed to help me with the assembly because my amount of time I have to tinker with it is not a lot these days. So he was teasing me about how, you know, when he was putting together the Delta with Alex for Joel, he said, yeah, you just got to have you just got to have the right help, you know, come out. And I said, well, it sounds like you're volunteering. So we'll see. We'll go through everything, and hopefully while I'm up there, we can actually get something together so we can start using it for production. Hey, Jeff, I got to visit you. Yeah, I do. I was down there not too long ago. It's probably been a while since I've been to Ray's, but always good down there. Hey, all right, Ben's in the house. Good to have you with, buddy. I know we don't usually do streaming at ideal times for you, but it just so happened you're in luck today. All right, so moving down the list, we have a power cable. Hey, that's handy. You gotta have something to connect to the mains. I'm gonna guess that's, what is that? An accessory? I don't even see it on. Oh wait, here. Large motor, zip tie bag. This may take a lot longer. I'm not seeing a power cable on here, but I'm not doing a very good, thorough job at reading. Let's see. Oh wait, power supply unit, zip tie bag, printer board, hot end, USB cable. Nope. Oh, they're calling it something else. Oh, we've got a heated bed. So my guess is this sits underneath the belt as it moves and keeps things warm and moving. So that's, looks like that's probably about 8 inches, maybe less, maybe 6 inches, or maybe 150 in millimeters for those who are so inclined. Some extrusion. Love me some extrusion. Probably good that we got this when we did, given the tariffs imposed on us poor folk now in the US on our aluminium. But looks like we got some 2020. So I got 2 of those. Should have brought a metal parts. Okay, so we got bed plate, check. We got extrusion, A, B, C, and D. That's interesting. So he's got 16¼ inch extrusion, 290 millimeter extrusion, 6 inch, and 14.625, and some round extrusion. So we got a little hodgepodge of metric and imperial here, a little bit of each. I wonder if I should have a tape measure handy. I don't know why I didn't stock up the right tools. You know, it's funny, this actually gave me another opportunity to clean off this workbench. I haven't seen the top of this workbench for probably the better half of 6 months now. So, all right, who wants to dare estimate what this is, since I don't have a tape with me? So the choices are 16.25, 290. It's definitely, let me see. So holding it up against the CR10. I think that's longer than 290. I'm going to say that's our 16-inch ones. It says we're supposed to have 2 of each of these, and it's definitely not 6 inches. So by process of elimination, I'm going to say that's the extrusion A. And I didn't see any labeling on any of the packaging to indicate. But again, this is an advanced kit. Ooh, what do we have in here? Some lovely looking steppers. Hardwired. Let's see here. So, doesn't look like we have a whole lot of length, but I'm guessing we don't need a whole lot of length. I'm sure they gave us the amount we need. I'm sure. I say that, it probably sounds like famous last words, but yeah. Build volume is 340 by 340 by infinity. How awesome is that? I'd say technically it's probably not infinity, Dan. There's going to be a limitation on how much filament you're able to load through it. Now, with something like, say, a pallet or some other crafty customization that, you know, maybe splices together large rolls, or if you're lucky enough like IC3D to have giant 10-kilo rolls to feed it for a while, you could probably run this thing for quite some time. Yeah, I don't think 340 was quite right. Yeah, it looks like you corrected it. 150 by 105 by infinite. All right, so we got 4 steppers. Looks like they're all about the same size. Oh, there goes my belt. Hopefully that didn't damage it. Let's see here. So let's check off under my electronics. Wiring. Movement. I know I saw them on here. GT2, metal parts, extruder spring, geared base, standoffs. I don't think I'm going to go through each of these individual things. That's going to take forever. It looks like I'll just check off the bags as they come out because I want to put these back in some semblance of organization. Okay, so we got a goodie bag with all of our fans and our inductive sensor and a tiny fan. What is that, like a 10 by 10? So I'm going to say that's the wiring bag. Yep. Okay, so yep, this is our wiring bag. So this has got our extensions for the extruder motor. It's got the hot end power extension. It's got end stops and fans. So yes, we've got that. That's good. Set that over here. This loveliness here. It's heft. It's got some heft. Ooh, that's some good looking rod right there, huh? Ooh, does that sound nice or what? Okay. So we got three rods, three smooth rod, 8mm and 12mm smooth. And it looks like they're both in here. So I've got my smaller 8 and my larger 12, and I got 2 of each of those, each 290mm. See, good. So if we have a reference here, logic dictates these are not our 290, which we think we already knew, 16 inches. So anyway, here we got some 12 and some 8mm. Nice looking rod. See if we can get that back in there. More of those. Oh, some more extrusion. Some more T-slots. Let's see, this is one of our 14, this is our 14.625. Check. Check. We got our rods. Let's see, check off my smooth rods. Very nice. Let's see. Ben says that black belt printer looks great. Yeah, hey. Nice to have a treadmill size printer, but I'll tell you what doesn't look great on that, Ben, the price tag. What's the black belt running these days? Did they come down at all, or are they still in the like $6,000 range or something? Like it was off was it off the Kickstarter? I want to say it was something in that vicinity. 2 smaller extrusions. I'm gonna say these are our C extrusions, our 6-inch extrusions. Put those there. Checkaroo. I'll throw it in the trash can. Ooh, almost. I almost got it in. All right, look at all these goodies. We got some bearings. We've got some tensioners. We've got some. What are these? This is interesting. These looks like smooth rod rail, but with a flange on the end of it. So my guess is this is holding the gantry. I'm gonna pull up a picture so I can see what I'm. Got to get a better context around. So this is gonna go around our 8mm rods, and I'm sure, just not to anybody that's dealt with like the linear stuff knows you don't want to like do this and risk jamming the ball bearings out of it. Ooh. Cool. So my guess is this is going to be what are we calling this the Z-axis? The piece that's on the 35-degree angle that slopes up? Knolling. That's right. I'm not the best knoller around, but I can get into some knolling here. I'm into it. So I got my heat bed here. I got my steppers. I'm running out of desk space pretty quick here, but you know what? We're gonna finish emptying the box, and then I'll have some space here. Ooh, mystery white box. Save that. I'm gonna save that for the end. It's like the dessert. The dessert. A little bit more extrusion. I'm not going to take these out because I think what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to rewrap these so they don't get all scratched and scuffed and make a lot of noise, and maybe minimize the chance of the TSA getting all up in my luggage again the way I always seem like to do. But to be fair, I always seem to have really weird stuff with me that your average person, I can't tell you how many times I've explained, no, it's a 3D printer. What's a 3D printer? Well, the TSA, their staff isn't very well educated on robotics or 3D printing. Got a bag of zip ties, always nice, like that. Put that there. Ooh, that's a nice looking PSU right there. So we got a good power supply. Take that out. Take out the power supply. Well, let me check off my last extrusion. So I got my 6-inch extrusions, and then these have got to be my 290s. So I got 2 of my extrusion Bs. That's good. Let's see if M4 extrusion nuts. I haven't gotten into any nuts. Extruder plate, gantry plate, X motor plate, Z motor mounts. I don't know if I've gotten to that yet. Maybe that's what's inside of our nice wet box. Alright. Ben, I am just going to unbox for right now. I've got somewhere I need to be at 3 o'clock, so I'm going to pull all the stuff out. I'm just trying to make sure I have everything, and then depending on how late it is I get back, I might start poking away at it. I definitely want to go through the getting started guide and try to wrap my head around what is going to be required. So it looks like they basically did a custom mains plug, and this is like your power supply Molex connector. This is actually really clean. I like what they did here with the power supply. It looks like a pretty good setup. It's got the feet on it, so my guess is they're actually were you going to use this as the base for the whole thing. Notice I'm coming in completely blind to it. I haven't really spent much time looking at it, but I kind of liked it that way. It's kind of like I like to go into a movie not having any expectation. But anyway, it's nice. It looks like they made it nice and safe and sealed in here so that you're not having to do any of the wiring yourself. Probably good choice liability wise, so kudos on that. Nice hefty switch. That's looking nice. Alright, and we got other aluminium plate. What is it calling this? One Z motor mount, X motor plate, gantry plate, or extruder plate. I'm gonna guess this is a gantry plate? Maybe? It's got to be one of these metal parts. It's none of this extrusion. It's not extruder nuts. So there's 3 different plates. There's an X motor plate, a gantry plate, and an extruder plate. I'm not thinking that's an extruder plate. I really think this is probably part of the gantry. Or is it maybe what the belt is actually running across? The heated bed would fit nicely on it. Look at that. Same width. Screw holes do line up nicely. So this is, I'm not sure what they're calling, which gantry they're calling it. Maybe the X motor plate, or the gantry plate. I'm not sure, but whatever they run the thing over. It's probably why they send. Let's see. Dan says, it looks like a list of STL files to print before you build as well. Yes, there's definitely going to be some printing involved. I like the slimmer style PSU. Also, Ben, do a live build of this tomorrow. Oh man, that would be awesome. The problem with that is I have a bunch of parts that I've got to print first, and I'm not going to have those done. Plus, I've got to be over at Travis's for more rep box stuff. So we'll see. Yep, Dan says, let's see, out of interest, how many of you in the chat have kit printers or pre-built? Let's see, probably won't send. The belt might slide over. Yeah, Kat, I think you're right. I think this is what the belt slides over. So this is like the print deck, if you will. I'm not sure what they're actually calling it here. I'm sure it says inside the manual. And then here we've got some what looks to be like Kapton sheet. Two very staticky. Let's see what we got on here. Oh, and of course, last but not least, the Printrbot sticker. Very good. All right. Well, let's put that down there for now. Do a little bit better job on the knolling here. We'll put our that there, and we can get to our box. Extrusion. Oh no! Don't you hate it when you get dirt inside your T-slot? It's the worst. It's like a dirty T-slot. I like to keep a tidy T-slot. You know, now that I got this on here, I think I might leave it on here just so I don't risk losing any of the tiny little ball bearings. So I may get some blue tape and tape that on there. Seems like a good way to go, right? Get my here, I'm gonna get my extrusion ordered by height. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Feels good. Feels good to knoll. Saying that right? Knolling? No? Whatever. CR10 does not count as a kit, Fernando. That thing's like 4 bolts and it's together. Hardly a kit. I'll tell you what I've had. So I've put together the Mark III, which is one of the most pleasurable kits I've ever put together. They did a phenomenal job with the manual on that. I cannot sing that's praises yet enough. The most difficult one I put together was that big box. That took me quite a while. Granted, I did it over the course of a couple months as I was moving, you know. But when I dove in, I would say it took the better part of a day and a half. I think if I was going and with the experience I have now, it might have been a little bit faster. But there was a lot to that kit. So. I'll tell you, I think I mentioned it for anybody that was on the Friday night stream last night that, in building the rep box that Travis and I are doing, we're just putting together a box, and I've got so much respect for anybody that's kitting a printer with the amount of detail that goes into it, with the amount of support you're going to have to run to, help people because, assuming you can't assume anything's intuitive, and the detail of laying out the assembly guide is really where a lot of what separates a lot of the best kits from the worst. It's not necessarily always about just the componentry, but like how clear it is laid out for you. This is a cool little box. So this must be my my movement. No, this isn't my movement bag. I already had that. This is going to be, look at some nice monster gears. I got my GT2 belt in there. So this is my GT2 bag. Keep your GT2 goodies on there. Man, look at the size of those. So it looks like we got some injection molded parts here. Let's see that. It's a pretty big gearing setup. It looks like probably to drive, I'm gonna guess what they're calling the X. I really should familiarize myself with which axis is which on this thing. Let me see if I pull up the build guide. Let's pull up the getting started guide. So if you go to the Printrbot website, I'm not going to do a screen share right now just because I don't have OBS set up currently for it, but if you go to the PrintrBelt page, the description right at the very top has the getting started guide on it, and when you click that, it takes you to the guide getting started. Okay, so for those of you who'd like to follow along at home, there is an exploded view PDF which informs you how to assemble your PrintrBelt. You've got access to the PrintrBelt Autodesk 360 design file, very cool, and then software. So it looks like they're using the black belt fork of Kyra to do your slicing, which is super handy. And then the list of printable parts. Let's see how many parts we've actually got to print. I know I'm jumping in between. I'll get back to the box in just a second here. Should probably pull up that explodable diagram. Exploded view PDFs. Yeah, here. Okay, so PDFs. Wow, there's a lot of little things that go along with this here. Okay, so the PDF, so base assembly drawing, electronics drawings. Okay, so that's just the frame. Then we got our electronics clip into the frame. Okay, so the power supply is like the one of the feet basically, and then the printer board mounts to one corner. I know I should really be screen sharing this, but I'm not. I'm lazy. Maybe I can do that. I shouldn't be. Don't be lazy. Hey, Nick, what a guy. What is it? You say you're watching a smart guy unbox a cool project? You watching a different stream while you're watching mine? That's a little self-deprecating humor for you guys. Oh, look at that. We got a nice little micro USB. So USB, is it A? The standard flat A to a micro connection. So that's good. Let's put that over there. We got here. Oh, this is our printer board. I want to see what printer board they pack with this. So I'm guessing. What's it say here? GT2 bag I have. Okay, so this is like my movement. So the 6mm eccentric nut, the Delrin idler wheel assembly. So this is Delrin. Delrin's a nice material for gearing. Nice and smooth. Okay, so I got a nice little anti-static bag here with my, oh, okay, so I got some pins piercing through here. Some aggressive packaging that might be intentional? I don't think so, though. Okay. Some of these FETs look a little, well, okay, so this is an F6 printer board. This is the same. This is one of the same boards I had on the Adopt-A-Bots that I was putting together, or the one that I finished putting together. One day I'm going to finish those other two and get them to my kids' school, as I've said. They're still in the garage. Sorry, Brooke. I know I suck. Alright, so we got our printer board, and there's our hot end. So an Ubis. Let's see. What does it say? What kind of hot end we got here? We got our USB cable. We got, oh here, large motor. Heat bed with leads. Heat bed thermistor. We got that, and I think, was the thermistor included? The thermistor is part of the heat bed pack. And radiant barrier, 6x6. So we got two 10x10 Kapton tapes. It's probably these. Let's see, are they actual tape? Are they adhesive on one side? Does seem like one side might be adhesive. If you're calling it tape, it would be pretty misleading. Yep. Boy, good thing I've been growing these fingernails out. Yep, okay, so I won't peel that off, but that's definitely adhesive backed. So we got two of those. I wonder, no, 6x6 radiant barrier. What's a 6x6 radiant barrier? I wonder if that's anything that's 6x6. Maybe it's rolled up in one of these. I'm gonna guess this is one of the idlers that the belt is running around. So I'll be interested to see the tensioning system they have set up on this. So yeah, one of those. This looks like it's the other one. So there's our little hardware baggie. Little baggie of hardware. Check that off. Where's it got the hot end? Oh, here we go. No, wait, that's the power supply unit, the LRS 350 watt power supply. We got our printer board. We got our zip tie bag. We have 4 1/4 pound filament. It just says filament. I'm gonna guess it's PLA. Looks like just natural PLA to me. Hey, look who it is. Travis, welcome. Let's see. Make sure we're still going okay. It just occurred to me too, I didn't even hardwire. We've been using the Wi-Fi's. Hopefully, has it been staying solid, guys? Looks like it's been staying solid. So I haven't dropped any frames. That's good. Don't you love it when people ask you about their streams in the middle of the stream? So that's the other idler. And then we got some what are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, maybe 20 of those. What's something we have 20 of? Supposed to have 14 flat washers. I don't think that's a flat washer. Screws. I'm not sure what these are going to be for, but we're going to find out. So they're like, they're basically a little, looks like an M4 nut with like a little flange on it. So I'm not sure what they're calling those, but it's got to be up here in the hardware. 3/8 plastite. I don't think that's that though. There's more than 12 here. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 16. I don't know, 16 mystery thingies. And let's see, there's our board. Put the board there. Alright, here's our extruder. So it looks like an alu V2 extruder. So it's got the integrated extruder, the teeth, and it's geared. It's a geared extruder similar to that of a Bondtech. The grip profile on these is interesting. It's I wonder if they must machine these themselves, or I'm not sure. But anyway, it looks like kind of almost like a flat cylinder that they've just kind of cut maybe like 20 different grooves in, and it's geared on one side so that it's grabbing filament from both sides. So I like geared extruders. Who doesn't like a good geared extruder? So that's nice. And the extruder bag. Let's see. Extruder bag has a gear head arm, geared base, gear head gear set. Looks like they already pin in the what do I call it? Like what would normally be like the hob bolt on you know, when you're assembling it. It looks like it's hard pinned into the lever arm of the idler. If that's what you'd call this piece. So lots of stuff there, hex nuts, threaded standoff. So we've got our extruder bag, that's cool. So congratulations on receiving your new PrintrBot, PrintrBelt access design files. You know, has the link there for all inquiries. You can talk to support. It doesn't seem to make any mention of the stainless steel belt that I'm seeing, metal parts. Not sure what it's considering, the extruder plate, gantry plate, X motor plate, Z motor mounts, but that's probably these. So, got some various aluminum plates here, maybe an extruder piece. Definitely mounting for all your various, these are obviously cut out to hold steppers and stuff. Yeah, this would probably be way easier if I pulled up that PDF that had the exploded view. A couple more pieces of hardware in here. And let's put these all back in here. So these are all our plates. So let's see. It says there's a Z motor mount, a X motor plate, a gantry plate, and an extruder plate. There are 4 things in here. I'm gonna guess these are all the plates. That would make sense. And then 17 M4 extrusion nuts. It's not really 17 of them. There's 5 there. Interesting. Well, put some of the fragile stuff back in here. Maybe I'll put some bubble wrap back in there. Having my chat. My chatters. Ron likes the K in his ketchup. Oh, we're talking about ketchup. Travis, you hijacking son of a gun. So interesting. Well, let's see. Let's see if I can do a screen share on the fly. Living dangerously here. Make sure I don't have anything embarrassing on my desktop opened up here. Kill that, kill that. Don't want you looking at my email or my Facebook. My Twitters. Uh-oh. Wow. It says I have bad video settings. Huh. That's interesting. My keyframes are not being sent often enough. I've never seen that error before. Am I buffering, guys? Let me set it. Let's see. It's green here. It says stream health isn't good on the YouTube side, though. Alright, well, I guess we're almost done at this point anyway. Back to the task at hand. So if I were to do a screen share, not crash OBS. Let's see, what if I did this? Not a browser source. Display capture. Oh, it's infinity. Yeah. How about that? Hopefully you're seeing that. Seeing the chat and display and probably some OBS in the background here. Let's see. Pooch, is Repcord coming to New York Maker Faire? Yes. I will be there. I am not going to have a booth there, but I plan to be there. Ben, thanks for joining. I hope we see you at the catch-up. Hey, Martin, good to see you. Stream looks good. No buffering. Well, good. I'm glad to hear that. Are you guys seeing my web screen? I hope you are. This is weird because I can't, because I don't have multi-monitor set up on here right now, I can't bring up OBS to see what you're seeing. Wait, I think if I go, oh yeah, I can go to my live dashboard. Look at that. You are seeing it. Very good. All right, so I was looking at the PDFs. PrintrBelt PDFs here. So that's our electronics drawing. This is the base assembly drawing. So I'm seeing, okay, so it looks like these say button head, washer, it's calling it, these are extrusion nuts. These little mystery guys are extrusion nuts that ride inside. They that makes sense. These, I guess I was thinking more of the traditional T-nuts, but yeah, this fits right inside of our extrusion once it's bolt stuff. Duh. Let's see. Then we put our printer board on there. It just doesn't look hard at all, right? And then we bolt on some printed parts. We're gonna look at those in a second. And here's our extruder gantry. Okay, so then it looks like it's got our hot end, our print fan. So this is like basically our hot end assembly. Okay, very nice. And this is the X assembly. X assembly. And this is our Y gantry. Okay, so it's calling the X the bed, or the, you know, the part the belt is going to ride on. And then our Y is the angled thing that makes it look like a Y. So we've got our single arm. Now this is one of the changes they did, I think, from the original design. They went from the double armed Y gantry, where it was actually like moving between. It looks like there's a, now it's kind of cantilevered, I believe, off of the one single arm. Let's pull up the picture just to take a look at it. Here's what we're ultimately trying to build. So yeah, you can see that it's kind of a single arm that's gonna slide back and forth. So it's okay. So it's calling it the Y because it's like it's traversing the belt in this direction, and then our Z, which we just talked about earlier, is actually what's moving up the Y gantry. That makes sense. That makes sense. So the extruder gantry is, but they're not. It doesn't look like they want to call it a Z. They're calling it the extruder gantry is what rides on the Y gantry, and then the Z belt. Okay, and there's our heat plate. So this thing is what they're calling our heat plate. That's going to have our heated bed on it. And it goes across the assembly this way. Okay. And the Z motor drawing. So the Z motor is going to be what moves the extruder up and down the Y gantry. No. Okay, so that's on. The Z motor is on the main frame. And that's got the sensor on it. Interesting. It's kind of hard just to pull it apart from just this. Okay. Let's see. Ron says, if I do need a booth, do a booth and a ship stuff, you can ship to my office. Ron, that is very kind of you. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's definitely more pricey to do a commercial booth at the maker fairs, and I need a break after, you know, what it was like just getting over to Earth. But I would like to do another booth. That was a lot of fun. It's a different experience having a booth versus walking around and doing it in person. So the other thing I wanted to look at for context is how many STLs do we have here? Get that. All right, STLs. So bar clamp. Love the preview on the Mac. It's kind of a handy dandy little thing. So we got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 things to print. 12 things to print. That's not terrible. That's not terrible. I may set the, you know what I think I might do? I've got that Up 2 Mini I just got that is just an ABS monster. And while I'm sure I could print most of this stuff in PLA, I'm just really impressed. None of these look like they're terribly huge. And the quality and the integrity of the whole thing, this might be a fun job for the Up 2 Mini. Yeah. Or I'll spread it across a couple printers to get it done faster. I could do some on the Mark III, some on the CR10. Yes, you're right, Dan. Some do need to be printed more than once. Yeah, the feet, for example. You're right. You're right, as always, Dan. You're smart. I'm stupid. You're very attractive. I'm not at all good looking. Oh, look at that. My power came out. No wonder I'm having issues here. I gotta charge up before we lose power. Alright. Let's see. Yep, feet. Alright. Okay. And what else do we have here? So there's black belt Kyra control. Oh. Okay. Maybe they moved the software. Oh, here we go. I'll download that now. Because, you know, I'm just using uplink for you guys. I may as well use my downlink while I'm at it. And let's see, did we look at the 360 design files? This is cool. PrintrBelt add-on loading. Okay, so I got my Kyra. Look at that. Okay, markup tool, share feedback. Hey, how cool is that? Look at that. We got a good old, just nice visual here of what's gonna do. Can we explode? Look at that. Oh, very cool. I like. This gives us nice, good context of everything. So basically we can see all the layers. Calm down, Ron, okay? Macs are actually quite nice. I'm not going to get involved in the PC versus Mac battle. I run a ton of PCs as well. But as a web developer, by day, by night, by any time really, I need to do a lot of cross-browser testing. And there is really no good substitute for that. Yes, I could get access to some services that test it for me, but that was my primary reasoning originally. I did build a Hackintosh once, which was cool and it kind of worked. But the problem is that every time there's a new software update and you get a new version of Safari and stuff like that, you really need to have current stuff to test on. So, yeah. You see the whole render on your PC. Just saying. Yeah. Let's see. You're not streaming at the same time. You need to test from both. Yes, I do need to test from both. But so the nice thing about having a Mac is you can run something like Parallels or VirtualBox. I haven't run Parallels in years. VirtualBox though, and have Windows instances way more easily inside of a Mac than you can the other way around. There are hacks that people have done to like use VirtualBox to like create a Hackintosh with inside VirtualBox, but again, that's just not as easy. So I've actually had this beast is going on 6 years old now, so this is a 2012, and she's going strong. But I've had the RAM die on me twice and stuff like that too. So maybe time for an upgrade soon. For graphics, you really can't beat a Mac. Yeah, in this day and age, I don't know. I think they're all using the same hardware now. It's really just a matter of the operating system and what you're comfortable with. So this is really handy. Kudos to Printrbot for giving access to the design files. I mean, because just every little detail of the assembly and what it's called especially. So this gives you really good context. Looks like everything down to the screws. Look at this. Wow. So this is kind of cool. You can kind of go through and drill down into the model. You can actually search parts. I hadn't actually seen this before. That's a really nice feature and features. I'm not a big Fusion 360 user. Has anybody done this before? So it looks like you model up your stuff in 360, and then you can basically just make it a public file that's view only, I guess. Explode model. Oh, whoa. Whoa! Mind blown. Did you see that? Look at this. I love it. I love exploded views. Explode. Come back. Explode. Come back. Measurements. How far? What's the diameter of my roller? Huh? Why is it snapping down there? I don't want it. Don't snap. There we go. Here. Well, looks like our radius is. That doesn't seem right. I wonder if that's because it's. No, maybe it is. 23 millimeters. So like a 46 millimeter diameter. Maybe. You can download it into 360 and do more if you need to in the future. That's really cool. So you can make your own edit. Yeah, it looks right there. Boom, download, and look at all these different spit out sketch. You can go to SketchUp. Wow, Inventor, Step. Wow, very nice. DXF. What else we got? Calibrate. I don't know what that means. Calibrate it. Spin around. Brooke's been making these available on his printers for a couple of years. Look at that. Well, it's new to me. Sadly, I did not even know this. Camera interactions. Oh, good. Orthographic view. I like orthographic. How about perspective? Yeah. Zoom, hand, pan. Very cool. All right. Well, I'm just wasting time now. Oh, and I'm late for my 3 o'clock, so I gotta bounce, guys. But thank you guys for joining me for this. I will keep you posted on how it goes. If I do start building and document any more of it, I'll absolutely share. I'm looking forward to getting her up and running, and I hope everybody has a great Saturday evening. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with me. Till later, I'm going to sign off. Have a good day. Stop.